We don't need no intro. We don't need no special music or special effects.
No.
Straight into it.
We're the talent.
We are the content.
Yeah, you're here for us, not the amazingly catchy theme tune. Should we just go a cappella and do it ourselves?
Mate, I'm game. You ready? 3, 2, 1.
Better. It's better.
It is. And what was great is because we're all off sync.
So in sync, man. So in sync.
That's Monday streaming for you boys.
I know.
That's live. That's live, that is.
I absolutely love it. Well, being live, we returned last week, boys, with a traditional podcast, and we're live this week. How are we both doing?
Much better than last week.
Oh, yeah.
Last week. Yeah.
I think we're all in a much better state than last weekend's. Well, the previous weekend's antics, anyway. But
yeah, Collins' fault. Collins, your wedding, mate, wrote us all off.
Goes and does his own show, 4M1T Unplugged. Go and watch YouTube. LT.
Yeah.
Doesn't join us. He just wants to get us fucked up and then leave us where we are.
Yeah.
I rate it.
The consequences.
I rate it. It's great.
It's all part of his master plan.
Just as I was speaking there, Lewandowski makes it 3-1 to Bayern Munich. Banging finish.
Scored the first one, didn't he? Who got the second one?
Muller.
Oh, of course, your boy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mulldog.
Bulldog. Right, lads, we'll get straight to it because not a lot happened this weekend apart from the return of Premier League and also the return of Lee Noble.
Hey, confused.
Technical issues.
It was always going to need a bit of ironing out the first couple of podcasts, wasn't it?
This is what happens when Chris doesn't come on.
Yeah.
When Chris doesn't come on, we go to shit.
You know, he's the guy. He's the guy with all the skills when it comes to the technical stuff.
100%. In fairness, last week there were 3 of us. This week 4.
Yeah,
we might have all 5 of us next week.
Yeah, we might do. Don't hold your breath.
Absolutely not. Right, lads, I called it last week, and I'm buzzing I called it last week. Brentford.
Oh. You were cracking a joke, but it was a good joke. Oh, we're back to 3. We've gone back a week.
And he's gone.
Mate, Arsenal, Arteta out already.
No, Arteta in, mate. Keep him there.
They've got issues, haven't they? They've got some serious issues that need sorting out. But
yeah,
it can continue in mine. It's fine with me. I'll say that's guaranteed 6 points for United this season, but I'll go to it. Probably end up eating my words after that. So.
Oh, you know they're going to get 2 wins all season. It's going to be against us, don't you?
Oh, I don't know. I think they'll probably snag one against us as well. I tell you what, though, Brentford, unbelievable.
Yeah.
The occasion, first game in the Premier League, the fans just blew them away, didn't they?
Yeah.
Just made them look. You wouldn't have thought it was Arsenal Football Club of old. Absolutely not. But that is the problem, isn't it? Arsenal Football Club now. It's a distant, memory. We've gone past the Arsenal that we remember. The shadow on themselves now.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think Brentford, well, the manager, the players, the fans, they look like they just fucking loved it.
Yeah.
From obviously the build up, I think that was the first time properly they've had the fans in the new stadium. I know they had a few thousand towards the back end of last season, but that was full stadium that first game of the season. What an occasion it was for him, and fair play to him. 2-0, brushed him aside. Like I say, Arsenal got the problems, haven't they? But don't take that away from Brentford. They were brilliant. And
great way to start the new season off, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Anticipated it was going to be a good game, and it really was. Didn't disappoint at all.
It was a comfy 2-0 as well.
Yeah.
That's the worst part for Arsenal. It didn't look like they was gonna score at all.
No, they'd have been. I reckon you could have played another 90 minutes on top, and they'd have still been looking for the first goal. Where's it coming from, though? That's the problem, isn't it? No Lacazette, no Aubameyang. Where are the goals coming from? I mean, Pepe. They're going to rely on Pepe because I think he was the second in all competitions, second top goal scorer for Arsenal last year. He's not forward.
That's frightening, that isn't it?
Yeah. I know they've got a lot of young lads coming through, but I mean, money wasn't an issue for Arsenal not too long ago. Now it seems like it's over-reliance on young lads, and like Everton, unfortunately, investing in maybe the wrong players. I mean, bringing Aubameyang in, I'd have been buzzing with that. One of the top strikers in the world, wasn't he? Last year he didn't have that, but the year before he did. So what sort of form does he bring to the table this year is the question.
If he stays...
that's it. Did they see him in an Arsenal shirt again this season?
We might not. What teams want him? Anybody been linked with him? I know we've discussed sort of
Barcelona. In a swap deal for Coutinho.
They just need to sell players on rather than swap. They need to recuperate money. That's the issue with Barcelona. Like 1.1 billion euros in debt. Well, that might even be pounds. It could be like 1.3.
Well, I think the issue as well is like he's obviously on what 250, 300 grand a week at Arsenal.
Yeah.
You know, and let's be honest, he had a poor season by his standards last season. As soon as he signed that new contract, I don't know what happened, but obviously last season was poor. It seems like he doesn't want to be there, or that's the sort of the vibes I'm getting. He don't want to be there, or he's had a bit of a sort of a tiff with Arteta, or the other way around, and it's kind of like, right, well, we're just not going to play you. But then you can't. They say you're sitting on 300 grand a week and you're not playing pretty much arguably your best player.
Mesut Ozil all over again.
Yeah, it seems like that, mate. Yeah.
The thing is, though, when they signed him, he was at that form where he could have quite easily have gone to one of the top sides, like the teams that challenge for the Champions League title. You know, that he could have gone to a Barca, a Real Madrid, he could have gone to Juventus, Bayern Munich even. I mean, I can't ever really seen that have happened. You know, I don't think that would have happened to Bayern Munich. But you know what I mean? That those sort of clubs chooses to go to Arsenal. He wasn't ever going to, if he wanted to make a name for himself as one of the top strikers, you know, and win the top competitions, he chose the wrong club to go to. I'm sorry. It must have been money. The whole move must have just been money for him. Yeah. And then obviously renewing the deal. It's like, as you said, where did he go? He went completely missing by his standards last year. He just wasn't the same player. I bet most people didn't even have him in the fantasy teams.
No.
I certainly didn't. Max started off the season with him, but I quickly removed him out. All right, Lee, can you hear us?
Yeah. I had to reset my MacBook, but yeah, I'm here. I don't know what was going on. Honestly, everyone sounded like Predator. It was like really crackly when people were talking. Couldn't hear anything. It wasn't my AirPods because I took them off, and it was still the same. But yeah, I'm here now. Finally.
Is it thoughts on Arsenal, Lee?
Oh God, where do you begin? Like, they were incredibly underwhelming on Friday, and it was like it was almost written in the stars to go that way, though, because with it being Brentford's first game in the Premier League ever, or for a long time anyway, and not a single. I think they said that it was something like Ivan Toney had only had 10 Premier League minutes across the whole of the squad, and that was the only player that had any Premier League minutes ever. It almost just felt like it was written in the stars to have their first like full crowd back to be, well, getting points off Arsenal. And to be honest with you, how surprised was anyone? Like, Arsenal were shocking. It seemed like they just didn't really have much of a plan of what they wanted to do. I think that Lacazette and Aubameyang pulling out at the beginning probably hurt them quite a lot. But to be honest with you, even if they'd had both of them, they still would have been useless. So I think they've got a lot to worry about, and I think that Arteta would probably be one of the first managers to go this season if things don't improve. I just can't see how they're going to get any better.
These two boys said that they want to keep him in. If he carry on,
Oh yeah, that'd be nice.
You said Arsenal were underwhelming. I disagree. I expected it.
Exactly
Arsenal
how you expected. Yeah,
they're overwhelming. They're just fucking there. They're so shit.
Yeah,
they're probably like the fourth best club in London at the moment.
Yeah, and does that include Palace?
I mean, Chelsea, Spurs, and then West Ham, and then probably Arsenal.
Yeah,
if that.
On the day,
maybe put QPR alongside them.
They aren't far off. They are thereabouts, aren't they? If you're even going to consider Watford in contention, I mean, I don't really class them as a London club. They're a bit too far out for me, but they're just north of London, aren't they? They're not far off that standard either. I reckon they'd probably draw with them. Maybe even beat
Watford's front three is better than Arsenal's front three.
Yeah. So when they've not got those two key players we just mentioned in the squad, who else is there? I mean, who's that lad that they played, that new fella that they played up front the other night? Don't know anything about him. I'd heard that or got him in through the youth team. I knew he was playing for them on the night, but I don't know who he is.
No, I've never even heard of him ever.
No, maybe some of our listeners might be able to comment. I don't know. We have a couple of Arsenal fans tonight that might be able to tell me something about him. I
think if we had any Arsenal fans already, they've probably already tuned out.
Before, I can't be.
You want to tell them what they've probably been saying all week, you know?
They probably sat there just like, we know.
Yeah,
we know.
The same game. Yeah, Arteta out.
Arteta in.
Anybody catch any of the Arsenal TV? Did they do any of that post game? Because I bet they were raging. They must be fuming with that result outside the grounds and all that.
I still find it mad though. I'm just the biggest thing for me with the Arsenal TV is like this is their dream. Like they're Arsenal fans, and their dream is the fact that the team's doing rubbish so that they get more views. It's always made me laugh. That as like, I know that they're all diehard Arsenal fans, but at the end of the day, they're getting more attraction because Arsenal are doing badly. I just love it. It serves them right.
Nobody would watch it if Arsenal were doing great, and they were just
exactly
pissing their own arse every week. Just wouldn't care.
Exactly. Yeah. It's funny.
I was saying, Lee, what a great game to start the Premier League off, because we've all been looking forward to the Premier League coming back after the Euros, all excited for the football to be sort of weekly in our lives again. And then you've got an amazing sort of like 2-0 comfortable Brentford win, and Arsenal are sulking. What a great start.
Yeah, and City lost. But we'll come to that.
Why jumping the gun?
No, it was a great advert for the Premier League, and I think as well as that, it was a great advert for just how important the fans are, because it was just unbelievable seeing the fans back in the grounds again, and the passion and what it meant to Brentford and their fans getting there. Are those scenes that people will have seen of that young kid at the end of the game cheering with Frank and some of the players coming over to him and high-fiving him and stuff. Like it's what it's all about, innit? And being able to see those scenes, and it just feels like all the teams have been galvanised by fans being back this weekend. Another one of the games that well, they were in our stadium.
Was I the only one teary-eyed at that fucking post-game? Because that was so emotional for me. That was incredible. I said the noise, the cheering, the old fella in the crowd has probably sat and waited for his team to win the Premier League his whole life. Like you said, the best advert for the Premier League ever. That.
Yeah.
That'll be me teary-eyed when I'm older, when Everton finally win a cup. I've been waiting all my life.
Retired.
Yeah.
You said when? Do you mean if?
Oh, mate, if I go before we win a cup, what a waste of life that's been waiting. How upsetting.
Well, let's go to you boys then. So, I said to you last week, give Rafa time and you'll be sound. First half, you were absolutely dog wank against Southampton. Yeah. And he pulled it around in the best possible way. What are you thinking?
I mean, my opinion's not changed of him.
Obviously.
I'm impressed with the lads for turning it round. We don't do it often. I think I saw a stat. I can't round it off now. I don't know off the top of my head, but I saw a stat and it said it's the first time in quite a few seasons that we've been able to turn around. Getting beat at half time basically.
Yeah.
I know that we did it against Watford not too long ago, but it must have been at least 2 or 3 seasons ago. Just Theo Walcott scored the winner and I went mental. First half, one of the worst first half performances I think I've seen. I mean, I've only seen the highlights, but one of the first half performances I've seen from Everton. Second half, a completely different side. It would be great if we could perform both halves like that.
Does that credit not go to Rafa then?
I mean, he must have had some sort of contribution to, maybe his half-time team talk was unbelievable. He must have contributed towards, galvanising the lads for the second half. I think they were poor and they probably didn't deserve the lead. We all know that it came from Michael Keane's cock-up. They shouldn't have really been 1-0 up, I don't think. Probably should have gone into the break at 0-0. That being said, we did go into half-time break 1-0 down and we still managed to turn it around and win 3-1. So, yeah, I mean, I'm happy with what he's done. I'm happy with what the lads have done. But it's going to take more than an opening day winner for me to change my opinion of Rafa Benitez. Just, I'm going to need to see, I don't know, like a top 6 finish this year. That would shock me. Because, as I said last week, I'm expecting us to fall below mid-table. If we can finish sort of like 6th, 7th with the team we've got at the moment, I'll be well impressed. I think I think he would have done a great job for us in his opening season. And then, if you can follow that up with a couple of good purchases, then I'd start to have a different opinion of him, I think. But we've got a long way to go yet before I change my opinion of Rafa Benitez. So that's that.
Yeah, I think I've seen a lot of Everton fans sort of after the game and that they were saying, "Do you still hate him?" And they're like, "Yeah." And they were like, "What will it take for you to not hate him? Like if he wins us the league?" And I think they no, but I think they know that though, and that's probably like them saying they'll never like him. And I think
I tell you what, if he could win us on a derby day, that would start to change my opinion of him a little bit.
Yeah, because it's beating the club that you hate him for.
Yeah. If he could show us, that's then, this is now. My loyalty is to this club, and we've just gone and turned over your rivals.
Yeah.
That would change things a little bit for a lot of people, including myself, I think. So that's just one game.
It's a difficult one. Because what are your expectations for the season for Everton?
I said last week in the podcast that I'm worried we'll fall below mid-table this year with the squad that we've got. So that's my expectations. I'm thinking 11th, 12th. I mean,
That'd be a bad season. That.
Considering we spent £400 to £500 million since Farhad Mashiri came in, and we're still no better. For me, that's worrying.
Yeah, and this is it. It feels like a lot of the signings you're making just don't seem to add up. And it's like some of them don't seem to add up, and then the ones that you would think would be decent just haven't really performed. Like you look at, I think Doucouré's been a good signing. He's been solid, but nothing really special apart from that finish for the weekend. But other than that, it's just kind of what you'd expect. Same with Fred, probably not Fred. Sorry, fucking Alan. So I was thinking of the other Brazilian named old man, old man named Brazilian.
Old man name.
Alan, I think. Again, he does well in position, but he's not setting the stadium. Is he? Damari Gray didn't really do much on it when he was over in Germany. Andros Townsend is probably a reason why Palace don't really want him anymore. He's getting on a bit. They're just weird signings, aren't they? I just can't quite put my finger on it.
I'm not enthusiastic about them. Do you know what I mean?
No.
I'm not when we brought in James Rodriguez, I was like, Jesus, how have we done that? How have we brought someone that good in? That's
not the signings you needed, though. You were lacking last season by a lack of grafters.
Yeah, I mean, and we've said this, haven't we? Like Everton, notorious grafters, and I said one thing that we're missing, one thing we've not got anymore, is that grit and determination to really work hard for a result. We don't have that anymore. We just sort of like roll over.
Yeah.
Like the last game of the season against City last year, it's like, you know, they already had one foot on the plane going on their holidays, didn't they? Or, you know, they were thinking about the Euros and things. Like just thought, oh yeah, you finish off on a and absolutely spank us if you want. We're not bothered. We've got nothing to play for. You know, that's not exactly what you do for your fans, is it? When you got people, obviously couldn't go in the stadiums last year, but still cheering for you week in, week out. They're in their heart, they're thinking about it. In their head, they're thinking about the club. They're wanting to invest in the club, in, you know, shirt sales, what have you, merchandise. They're putting their money into the club. Just because they're not in the stadium doesn't mean that they're not wanting you to win week in, week out. It goes for every club, that, not just us. But I just don't like it when teams roll over like that. So you're right. Going back to your point, we need grafters. We've brought some grafters in, to be fair.
You need players that are, like you said, they're just going to fight for the badge. Townsend, someone that just, he's not world class. He's never been world class, but you know you're getting, if he's on the pitch, you're getting 90 minutes of just hard work. And so hard work sometimes is better than talent.
Well,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it definitely is. If you're talented but you're lazy, then what's the point in the it's wasted talent, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Well,
unfortunately,
I'm convinced that Rafa's going to win you around. I'm convinced he will.
I'd love it. I'd absolutely love it. That'd be the ideal for me if he could win me around and prove me wrong. That's what I want for him to do. That's what I want all of our managers to do. They've all fallen short so far. It's just unfortunate for him that he's, you know, the first manager since I think the 19th century to manage both Liverpool and Everton. So, you know, he's always going to be on the back foot, unfortunately for him.
I think he needed that though. That opening win. Yeah. I think he did need that. If you were to open up with a home loss or even a draw against what I think may be a relegation threatened Southampton, like I say, he's like you've given your opinions on him, and I'm sure there's many other Everton fans also sort of feeling the same. But if he wouldn't have got that win on the opening day, then straight off the bat, he's already. I mean, he's probably under pressure anyway from the fans, but start off with a home loss as well. You know, it wouldn't have been the best start for him, but like I say, he turned it around second half. He got 3 points. I mean, I think Goodison Park will be a different playing field this season with all your fans back. I mean, your home form last season was a bit shocking, but you know, Goodison, you know, with a full stadium, that'll be a tough place to get points, I think, this season, which is, you know, it's always been pretty much the case for a lot of seasons. You know, you never get an easy game there. So, but yeah, you got off to a winner.
Yeah, I'm happy. In a nutshell, I'm happy with that. 3-1 win. Scoreline probably doesn't represent the first half in a way, does it? But it represents the second half. So, ideally going into the game against Leeds at the weekend, I'd like a better first half performance, I think, and a bit more consistency across the 90 minutes.
They'll be well up for it. Try and get revenge for last week.
Yeah, well, that brings us nicely into your game, doesn't it? What an unbelievable early game that was on Saturday.
Okay, now we're going to win the league. Get in.
There we go. It's the 17th of August, and it has already been said.
We were saying that last year. We even released music for it.
Everton.
No, but I mean, if you want to start the season with a game, I mean that was like pretty much the perfect game to start a season off with. A 5-1 drumming. Would have been even better with a clean sheet, but hey, you know, I'm not going to complain. But
no one's stopping that. Yeah, no one's stopping
that. Oh no, that was absolutely ridiculous. That goal.
Dale, are you saying that because you had Luke Shaw in fantasy?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Then.
But I mean, Pogba, Bruno, Greenwood. I mean, even Fred scored. Christ, I mean, it must have been bad. Fred scored.
That's what I said when it went in. I was like, God, even Fred's getting on the score sheet. What's come to the world?
But yeah, I mean, hopefully that's the start of, let's say, potentially a title, at least a title challenging season anyway. But yeah, no, I don't think there was a better way to start the campaign off with a scoreline like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think that for me, one of the things that I've kind of been thinking is if that was Man City or if that was Chelsea, everyone would be talking about, well, they've really set a precedent there for everyone else for the rest of the season. They're surely one of the favourites on that performance. And yeah, fair enough. Like, it's one game. It's the opening game of the season. For some reason, Bielsa didn't play Calvin Phillips, which I thought was mental. I think that was probably one of their downfalls. United, while all the rumours have been based around us potentially playing this 4-3-3, we did go in with a 4-2-3-1, but not really that rigidly. So we had like Pogba, who could just go wherever he wants. He was playing anywhere he felt like popping up on the pitch. And then you have the attackers, whether it was Dan James or Greenwood, getting sort of forward a bit more, which just left loads of space. And if Calvin Phillips was playing, he probably would have hoovered up Bruno, and he wouldn't have had anywhere near as much space on the ball or time. Pogba wouldn't have had as much time because he would have been less space as well. And I think they would have done a bit better with him on the pitch. But I think it was honestly a tactical error by Bielsa, which led to this result. And yeah, like I said, I'm not taking anything away from United. Obviously, I thought we were unplayable at times. Pogba 4 assists, got more in one game they did in the entire last season. Just crazy. Bruno Fernandes saving his first hat trick for the full Old Trafford crowd. Thought it was just awesome. That finish for his third goal, where it just drops over his shoulder and he hits it first time. What a strike! Didn't even look at the goal. Goal's not moving, is it? He knows exactly where he's putting it. So yeah, just an all-round great performance. Good for Jadon Sancho to get a few minutes. He didn't really get on the ball much. You're not going to in 15 minutes, are you? But it's I know that he played in a behind closed doors friendly today against Burnley. A few of the United sort of fringe players got on the pitch today against Burnley. So Lingard, for example, and Van der Beek, I think, got on for a bit as well. So good to see that kind of thing happening. And hopefully it looks more towards a possible start for Sancho. Varane obviously was announced before the game, which I thought was a touch of class, being able to reveal him to the full crowd. Hopefully we'll see him getting into the team on Saturday or Sunday, whenever it was we're on. But one thing that I have been thinking is I thought that Lindelof played very well on Saturday, and he'll actually be quite hard done by now if he just takes him out for Varane, which is what everyone's kind of expecting to happen. So it'd be interesting to see how that one plays out. But yeah, all round, I thought it was class, brilliant.
Didn't he get the other assist?
Yeah,
he did. Yeah,
unbelievable ball that was. Sliced them apart.
He's got it in the
one
locker.
over the top for Bruno.
Yeah,
he's got that in the locker. He's always had that in the locker, Lindelof.
Yeah.
He's just lacking defensively, sadly.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you put Lindelof next to Varane, and that's an incredible partnership. You put Varane next to Maguire, and that's an incredible partnership. But Lindelof and Maguire are just too similar. It's too similar, too slow. With Varane, we've got the chance now to push up higher. We can press further from the front. I mean, that was something I was really impressed with for United on Saturday, was the pressure from the front. We did a Leeds to Leeds, and it rattled them. They couldn't fucking get out of the corners. It was brilliant. And we've got this youthful, exciting, attacking football back now with Sancho coming in. We've not even got Rashford on the pitch. We didn't start Martial. We didn't start Sancho. Cavani's not back yet. Varane only got presented as a player then. Lingard, whether he's staying or going, but if he keeps that form that he had for West Ham and stays, we've got another player there. We've got so many players even just fighting to get into the bench. Never mind starting for us now.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. And I think that there might be life in Bold Martial yet. I think he looks like a different man.
It's making a break for him, isn't it?
I actually saw him smile when you scored one of the goals for the weekend, which
Fuck off.
I couldn't believe. Couldn't believe it. I mean, you've got Southampton on Sunday, haven't you? And so,
Yeah.
I
want 10.
Us and you basically just swapped opposition, haven't we? The first 2 weekends. And if we can score 3 past them, I'm expecting you guys to score at least 6.
Well, we've got an incredible, there's no easy games in the Premier League, but an incredibly winnable next 7 games. So we're kind of set up quite nicely for a good run, especially since City dropped points. I thought Liverpool were all right at the weekend. And Chelsea, obviously, they got their 3-0 win, but it was only Palace, I think, whoever it was. So I'm expecting us to take a good 17, 18 points at least over the next 21 points available before we go into play Liverpool. So
the expectations aren't too high then, eh?
Well, no,
realistic, eh?
I think that there's no reason why we can't. I know one of those games is against Everton, which is always difficult. Newcastle, I know, is another one of them as well. Again, always difficult. So you never know, but on paper, realistically, with the money we've spent, the squad that we've got, and it's now all seemingly coming to sort of bind together a bit, there's no reason why we shouldn't be going on a title challenge this year, and these next 7 games will probably give us a really good start. And if we don't, then what does that say about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for this year? So it's pressure's on him more than it ever has been now, I think.
Oh, yeah. He needs to win something this year.
Definitely.
He needs to win something this year. With obviously the signings he's brought in now this season, obviously the last couple of seasons, the team's there to go on, and win. Maybe not one, but a couple of trophies now. But and I don't mean like a League Cup. I want the big boy cups. That's what I want. But I don't think he's got any sort of excuses this season. Like I say, he's got the players now. He's got the players in the positions that we needed as well. We're probably just missing like another centre mid, possibly. But we've got the striker, we've got the winger, we've got the centre back now. So we have got the squad to do it, and I'm fully expecting some silverware this season.
Yeah.
Would you be happy with just the FA Cup?
No.
No, not with the squad now. No.
If it's the FA Cup and we lose the title by 4 points, then yeah, I'd probably consider that a really good season.
Mm.
Yeah, and you'd want a good push in Europe as well, I think, alongside that, wouldn't you? Especially when you got to the final of the Europa League last year, and you've improved in the areas you needed to improve on, as you said. So surely you could go one better than that this time round. I mean, we shouldn't be anywhere in the Europa League this season. There's no way we should be in the Europa League this season. We have to go at least quarterfinals of the Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
So would you be happy with getting knocked out with the quarterfinals of the Champions League over a Europa League title?
Yeah.
You'd not prefer the silverware?
Europa League's fucking Mickey Mouse, mate.
Yeah, it's just, the Europa League, winning the Europa League.
For me, I disagree with the whole concept of teams from the Champions League dropping out into the Europa League. Yeah. I think it's fucking horrific.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
Good luck to the ones in the conference that are getting Europa League teams.
I've never heard of half of them teams.
No, exactly. I would be happy. I'd be happy with, quarterfinals, FA Cup, and a title. I'd want a challenge. I want to be excited by United until if you can keep me excited until game week 35, then I'll be happy.
Yeah, and at least the victory over City, I think, in the derby, to show that you are capable of beating the team.
Well, Ollie's done it. Ollie's done it loads. Yeah. He's joined with Jose and Klopp and now Nuno to fucking beat Pep the same amount of times.
Mm-hmm.
We can beat the big teams. Our issue's always been at the back. I saw that. I don't know if you boys saw the stat of since Fergie retired and then until Ollie took over, we netted 5 times in the game twice. Since he took over, we've done it 10 times. So, unbelievable, because I've questioned a lot of our attacking play. He's quite clearly improved us as an attacking team, which you'd expect. He was a striker, like you'd expect him to improve the attacking talent. Now we've got the defence. Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Maguire and Shaw, with, by the looks of things, it's going to be David De Gea that starts this season as number 1.
Yeah.
And if I'm more than happy to have him and Henderson fight it this season, because if those two are going to bring the best out of each other, bring it on, because if we can get world-class David De Gea back, that's a bigger sign as anything. That could prove to be the third signing by getting him back to his best.
I think that's got to be considered the best back four in the league, hasn't it, really? When you round it off
You'd
like
put
that.
it with Cities, wouldn't you? You'd put it with Cities.
In
In fact, I put it above Cities because the wing backs, the wing backs at City are dog shit.
Yeah, I mean, they showed that against Spurs, didn't they? But
Let's go there. Benjamin Mendy.
I didn't want to name drop him too soon, but Leeds tried getting it in there already twice.
I know. Well, we don't want to be here all night. If we talk about United anymore, we will be here all night. Yeah. Again, was anyone actually surprised? I know it's Spurs, but they were wank.
Yeah, they were pretty poor. They look to me like they're lacking a centre forward, which
that's why
there's no surprise to anyone.
I've named the title of this stream and video how I have: City lose but win.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Them losing that game there is the best thing that they could have done, because they will go all out for a striker now.
It kind of almost made me feel like, did he do it on purpose? I know it sounds ridiculous, but if you lose to a team that's not got Harry Kane in it after they're trying so hard to get him, then does it make sense to the first game of the season? So it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things at this stage, because they had a shit start to last season and they ended up winning it by loads. Yeah. So there's almost bits of it that makes me think they did it on purpose, but then when you think about it, you think, well, probably not, because now Spurs will probably add 10 million onto his price tag, won't they? Because they're desperate for him. So I don't think he'll go, to be honest, this year. No, it's too late in the window now. There's like 13 days or something left. And Spurs will find it hard to buy another player, because all other clubs in Europe will know they've got 140 million sat in their bank account. So let's add on 20 million to whatever they bid for any of our players. And then those teams have got to spend that money on getting someone else. It's too far gone for a transfer of that size, I reckon, for this year.
The flip side. Hey up.
Coming in. No.
Flip side of the argument. Do you think Daniel Levy's arsed when he knows he's got Heung-min Son? Or do you, like, if City threw 170 at them tomorrow, do you think Levy's arsed?
No.
They've just beat City. They've just beat City without him.
Yeah. Looking at Son, if you were City and you don't want to spend all that money, is it worth having a punt on him?
I mean, he's just signed a new contract, but I can't believe that he's there. He's way too good for Spurs.
Yeah, he's his class.
I still think, I mean, other than him and Kane, they've only got, Lamella.
Yeah. Well, Lamella's gone, mate. Lamella's gone.
So Lucas Moura, is it?
Yeah.
And, is it Vinicius?
Well, he's gone. He was alone.
He was alone, yeah.
So
they've got Bergwijn.
But
I do like him.
He missed a sitter. As well.
Yeah, he did.
Like,
I was impressed with. I was impressed with Oliver Skip on weekend.
Yeah.
I thought he had a really good game. I think he had a lot of pressure on him in that game, and I thought he looked really, really composed in the middle. Like, just dictated the play, which he looked like a young Michael Carrick, really. Like, just controlled the game. I thought I was well impressed with him for his official debut.
Yeah, almost reminded me a little bit like Billy Gilmore when he had his official debut for Chelsea.
Yeah,
and he pretty much controlled that game, didn't he? And Keane was singing his praises, and we don't see that often, do we? Roy Keane was just saying unbelievable. We definitely don't see that enough. So he's obviously got something.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but City fans, will they be too worried off the back of that? I don't think so.
No.
Not after last year.
Nah.
They've already proven that first couple of games at the start of the season doesn't mean much in the grand scheme.
No.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I think that City were poor, but they just made Tottenham look pretty decent, to be fair, because they were that poor. Don't think Tottenham are that. We're all that. To be fair, I mean, I thought it was a pretty naff game anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
It wasn't great to watch. I'm looking at. I mean, Dele Alli's been brought back into the fold. He didn't look like the Dele Alli of 2, 3, 4 seasons ago. Eric Dyer at centre back. I mean, Lucas. They didn't look particularly that great, but again, because City were poor, I just think it made Tottenham look a little better than probably what they actually are. I might be being a bit harsh, but
no, I think I agree with you, but I think that's why it's a worrying case for City at the moment. From a lot of the pundits, especially around City and City fans I know at work, a lot of them are a little bit worried because they feel like they needed to put a marker down in this first game of the season, like we did, like Liverpool did, like Chelsea have. To be honest with you, I think they're getting the sense of the fact that they're starting to look over their shoulder because they've bought one player and they spent 100 million on one player. We'll come on to in a minute.
Who dropped a 4 out of 10, by the way.
Yeah, it was shit. And we've signed 2, plus we've got players back from loan. We've got a decent goalkeeping situation. Chelsea, Lukaku, is one player, but he's probably the only one they had left because they spent 250 million last year. Liverpool haven't bought anyone; they're not going to do anything this year. And then City, I've just got the sense that they're going to start looking over their shoulder a little bit, and I know what I'm doing. I know
Not
exactly
thinking
what I'm
about
doing.
that Leipzig player that they signed back in the last year. Then no,
And the world's best defender that they've got back from injury.
yeah,
Shite. He won't be the same player after his injury.
Hendo's signing a new deal, though, isn't he? Hendo's signing a
Oh
new
yay!
These kids are big ones.
No, I just think that City fans are a little bit worried. Probably not that worried because their starting lineup was the most expensive starting lineup of all time, and they had Kevin De Bruyne on the bench, which also was a bit mad.
Squad of all time, 900 million.
It's ridiculous. So, yeah, I think they'd be worried. I'd be worried about the defence. I don't think Mendy's not good enough. I don't think Cancelo's good enough. They didn't have Stones, did they? Was it Stones, Laporte? They didn't have Ake. Not good enough.
They had Ake and Diaz, didn't they?
Diaz, yeah, Ake's not good enough.
Don't rate Ake.
No,
Zinchenko's a better left back. I
Yeah.
prefer Zinchenko all day.
Ake was a weird signing. It almost felt like he was a promising young player, and they needed to fill a gap. And they didn't. They also didn't want anyone else to get him because he barely played last year.
And he was injured. In fairness, he was injured.
Yeah.
most of the season.
But he'd be better off going to a club like
Don't
sort
say
of
it.
mid to low table. Yeah,
I think Bournemouth to City was too big of a jump.
yeah, of course, yeah, definitely.
Newcastle would have been a great place for him to find home.
Yeah, Newcastle, Palace, like a newly promoted team. Even
West Ham,
Watford,
a team on the rise rather than a team that's at the top.
Yeah. But so, yeah, I think it's not panic stations yet for City, and they'll probably spend 170 odd million on Kane, and then that'll be it. They'll win the league by 20 points.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if they don't do that, they will be getting a little bit worried, I think, because everyone else around them has strengthened, and they have bought Jack Grealish for 100 million, who I think is the wrong player for their system. Now, I've said this on the 17th of August, and I also have notoriously in the past said that Salah was past it and a bad signing for Liverpool. So this could be up there, but I think that Jack Grealish slows the game down too often for the way that City want to play. Now, I know they want to play possession-based football, want to keep the ball, but they also want to keep it moving quite quickly. And there was too many times where he took the ball and he didn't do anything with it, and he kind of slowed it down, and he allowed Spurs to just sort of drop into their shape. And he can keep the ball, and he can draw a foul, and he can go past players, but if he doesn't fit within that system of passing the ball around quickly, more directly than he has been, it could be a very expensive £100 million mistake. That
He'll get it back
now.
Mate.
Yeah, well, this is the thing in it nowadays. But to be honest with you, he'll probably come good. But I think I was a little bit worried by his first performance for City because he was non-existent.
You do think that with them spending 100 million, they probably have spent it in an area where they didn't actually need to spend it. Like that striker and left back surely should have been more of a priority than another attacking midfielder or a winger because they've already got some of the best in the world that they can't. Yeah, very strange. They can't start in every single game anyway.
No.
And then you've got one striker who Jesus is a workhorse, but I've stated numerous times and I'll continue. He's never going to win you a league title.
No.
And the left back situation is just horrific once again. So
it's been horrific for years. The left back situation at City.
So if you're spending 100 million, would it not make more sense to drop 30 million on Danny Ings? Because I think for me, 30 million on Danny Ings is probably a gamble what they should have taken.
Yeah.
And then go and get yourself another left back. I mean, there's not many left backs around that is a world class at the moment, but you could have tested the resolve of AC Milan and got a Teo Hernandez.
Yeah.
You could have got Brandon Williams on loan. We've been better than Ben Mendy.
They could even have gone for fucking Jordi Alba at Barcelona. Yeah. Like they need to drop players off the wages. They could have gone for him. But Guardiola bringing him over, like, just would have made so much more sense than 100 million on a player. It almost feels like they were spending him so no one else could have him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's how it felt because they knew he was circling around United.
Well, Villa apparently were contacting every club on the fucking world, weren't they, to sell him to anyone else other than Man City?
Yeah. Well, I asked this question on Twitter to in replies to like footy accumulators and stuff like that and TalkSport when he was signing, and I was saying like Villa fans genuinely, would you be as annoyed with him leaving if he was going to Manchester United rather than Manchester City? And every single one of them said no, because it feels like United are the club that you go to for heritage and the size and stature of the club, whereas it feels like you go to City for the money. Even though players do go to United for the money as well, but we've got both. So give City another 20 years and they may have something close to what Manchester United have, but they haven't got it now. They're not the heritage. They're not the fan base. They still have to advertise for tickets, like on match days. I remember the advertising campaigns for Champions League games, for God's sake. Like you couldn't get near Old Trafford on a Champions League night. This is why I think they probably feel a little bit sour by it.
I think they especially feel sour because, like you said, he's gone for money, but Villa owners did offer him the same wages. Like the Villa owners are the third most richest owners in the league. So it is more of a case of, I mean, fair enough, right? Yeah, you've gone for almost guaranteed titles, and City might probably win the league again this season.
I'd love it if they didn't.
Oh, honestly. Mate, I know.
Imagine if they signed Kane and Grealish, and they've both gone there for a guaranteed title, and they don't win it. That would be, and it was us that won it. That would
Champions League, Varane's the one that stops him.
Oh, unbelievable.
That's going to be the scenes if PSG don't win the French league. Well, like I'd actually quite like to see that.
They're winning the French league. Have you seen what Lille have done already?
No, go on.
The fucking first game 3-3 draw. Second game 4-0 loss
at home.
To the manager's new team.
Yeah, so I was going to say that he went. It was 5-0, wasn't it? I'm sure I saw 5.
It was either 4 or 5. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, so it was. Lille were getting beat by. I can't
Nice,
remember.
I believe. I think.
Sorry, Nice. Yeah, that's it. Who's managed by the old manager who won the league, Christophe Gaultier. That's it. What a story! Love that.
He obviously just knows his old club, doesn't he? Knows how to play, how he's taught them to play, and how to undo it.
Well, they're probably not arsed, are they, Lille? Now, like they've done the impossible. They've won the league in a one-horse race over PSG. That's who cares about anything else?
You know what?
You can't get much better than that.
I actually watched a bit of the PSG Strasbourg game, and that wasn't an easy game. The 4-2 scoreline doesn't reflect how well Strasbourg actually pushed them.
Yeah.
It's just
down to 10 men as well, weren't they? Or was that late on?
It was late on, but the thing is, there's a lot of players that PSG have got there that all the new players weren't playing. As soon as Donnarumma's in there, because he's inevitably going to be the starting goalkeeper, as soon as Ramos is in the back four, all of the new players are probably just going to slot straight in. Why would you not play them all?
Yeah.
But as soon as you do, it's going to be absolute carnage, especially with the front three. I just don't know how teams are going to cope.
It depends whether one of them front three are staying.
He's got to stick around and play with the best player that's ever played.
He's wanted out for a while, mate. I think he just wants to push for Madrid, and it's probably in PSG's best interest to try and get rid of him now, because if not, he walks in the summer for free.
Yeah, that's true. That's the big dilemma, isn't it? The fact that he's only got 1 year left.
Yeah, I've seen that he's gone to have a meeting with the president and that, saying he wants to leave and go this summer. Don't know how Madrid will afford him this year.
That's going to be it, isn't it? He probably, in his mind and the club's mind, they should get rid of him now so they get some money for him. But in Madrid's mind, they've got fucking no money. So we'll wait 12 months.
I just can't understand why a player like Mbappe, at 21, 22, however old he is, would pass up the chance to play with Lionel Messi for a season. Like, you can go to Madrid in 2-3 years. Why do you need to go now when Lionel Messi's just joined your team? It doesn't make it. He'll score about 70 goals with Lionel Messi passing balls through to him. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And what you'll learn from a player like him as well, it's just...
imagine having the opportunity to learn from it. Look how good it did Phil Foden just learning from David Silva every single day at training. Like, it's a strange one. And that front three at Madrid at the moment, like Hazard finally fucking turned it on weekend. He looked decent. Like, he's not gonna waltz into the Madrid first team. He literally might as well wait another season. Yeah,
strange.
Is it almost
paydays?
Is it an arrogance about him already? He sort of doesn't want to be in Messi's shadow. 21. I'm pretty much in the same caliber, or almost in the same. I personally don't think he is, and he never will be. But I'm almost in the same category. People consider me to be one of the best in the world, if not, in the top 3 best forwards in the world already, and I'm only 20-something. Why would I possibly want to share, the accolade with Lionel Messi? I'll go it alone and do it myself, just like he did at Barcelona.
He didn't know, that's the thing. He wasn't alone at Barca.
No, because he had Iniesta and Xavi and the like, didn't he? Ronaldinho setting him up on a plate when he first came on the scene. The thing is, Messi's been surrounded by a class and he's learned from it. And we've always known this about Messi. He's always been humble and quiet. I mean, he's probably more outspoken now than he was when he was a kid. Definitely.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
But I don't understand the thinking in Mbappe if he leaves. I certainly don't think Real Madrid have got the money to take him there anymore. Almost makes me think the City sack off the idea of going for a Harry Kane and just go all out for Mbappe.
I think that they probably would try, but he's got his heart set on Madrid, hasn't he? Unless they categorically tell him we can't do it.
Exactly, and I mean, Pep Guardiola must be able to convince somebody to go over there, like him, because I've heard him say, with you, the team is unbeatable. Look at what we've got. Look at what we're building. We're going to build for the Champions League title, everything.
He could come and join the French boys at United.
Yeah. Whoever he joins, it's going to be exciting, isn't it? If he leaves, it's
tell you what, this is a very, very exciting season coming up, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
There's been so much change, so much going on. I'm very, just fans being back as well. I'm just very excited for football to fully be back.
Yeah.
Do you know? Sorry, go on.
No.
I was just gonna mention a picture of seeing it, like talking about the excitement of the season and all these new signings coming in, like Lukaku at Chelsea. I seen a picture earlier of him in his United shirt,
Oh, it's mental, isn't it?
and then him in his press photo for Chelsea. He must be about 4 stone lighter now than he was
easily.
for United. Unbelievable! Like that's the player that we should have had.
It's the player that we signed. He just came back. The second season was when he was rough. I think he said it was some sort of dietary problem that
Yeah, it was.
United staff didn't pick up. And I read into it a bit more in detail today. And it was around the same time that Shaw got overweight again. And by the looks of things, Mourinho didn't give a fuck about that kind of things. And just brought
that's
in
what
more,
I've read.
Brought
today.
in more physios instead. Mourinho, you get fucked, mate. Fossil.
Yeah. Apparently, he got rid of all of the like nutrition center and stuff, and replaced it with more massage and physio beds.
Yeah,
because he believed that you just could look at someone and see, oh yeah, you're fine now, or you look good, or that's it. Like he wasn't really into the fitness side of things. So yeah, interesting. We'll see how he does.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, lads, we wanted to wrap this up in an hour, so we've got the return of the best segment on 4M1T. I don't quite know if I can play the clip because it wasn't having it earlier. So we might have to have Dale, you do some little voice intros, but we'll you're gonna allow us? No, we're not. Go on, Dale, introduce us, mate.
Dickhead of the week.
Beautiful. The segment of the show where, well, it's simple, really, isn't it? Who's been a dickhead this week? I've got mine straight up. I've got Anthony Taylor for costing me a fiver after watching Tanganga foul everyone about 16 times on the same game, and rather than booking it, he called Hugo Lloris over to chat to him instead. Fuck off.
That was weird. That it's not rugby.
It was really weird, wasn't it?
Yeah, like you do that in rugby. You talk to the captain about discipline, but you don't do it in football. I've never seen that done before.
I've got one.
Go on, you go. I've got two.
Mine is the previous board at Barcelona for getting him such catastrophe of debt. 1.15 billion or whatever it is.
Yeah,
ridiculous like that. How the hell they're still running? I have no idea with that. I mean, where's this financial fair play sort of stuff kicking? How can you get in that much debt? I don't understand it. I thought there was like stuff like this was brought in to stop clubs, getting into these sort of positions. But I mean,
Well, you look at someone like Berry, who were in obviously nowhere near that much debt and had to fold. Obviously, the income that's coming in is different, but how were Berry forced out of the league? Yet Barcelona are fine just operating as they are.
I mean, some of the contracts, some of the sort of the aging players are on is just ridiculous. I mean, I know that PK's taking a pay cut, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Alba's going to be taking one. Busquets as well. He's been taking a pay cut. But you just think, what are these players on originally? Just
joke.
And how long for as well? I mean, you throw that into what Messi was on, what he was earning as well, and you just think, like, how can you justify this, that, and the other having 3, 4, 5, 600 grand a week contracts?
Mm-hmm.
Especially as well when you've had no fans in the stadium for the best part of 18 months. There's no gate receipts coming in for that. It's just mind-boggling. But yeah, that's. But I it stems even further beyond that as well, doesn't it? I mean, it's years worth of sort of accountancy work not gone correctly. So let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But so that's they're my dickheads of the week.
It's a good shout. They are corrupt. I saw is it Laporte, the current president of Barcelona, saying that the previous administration and Bartomeu. I mean, he didn't come out and say Bartomeu, but he's referring to Bartomeu and his administration so corrupt, filtering money out essentially at the club, and also allowing managers to sign players and putting them on contracts like what they're on. Fair play to the ones that are taking pay cuts though, because
PK.
What I heard, Samuel Umtiti got booed off in the Joan Gamper Trophy because he wouldn't take a pay cut and he won't move.
And they're looking at terminating his contract.
Really?
Bringing it to an end.
Which, in context, is hilarious because he signed that contract, and if they terminate it, he's got to be paid the remaining amount of money.
Yeah.
Surely you would pay him anyway and keep him so you can play him rather than paying him just to get rid of him. Like, where is... They need a financial advisor. They're fucking off the brains at that club.
It must just be like, just really sour the relationship between them now.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going on behind closed doors, but I imagine the meetings must have been really bad.
He'd be a nice free transfer for someone, though.
It'd be decent, and wouldn't it?
Look, good next to Jorginho.
I tweeted him about it. Like, why should you have to take a pay cut? But a contract is agreed by both parties.
Yeah.
You agreed it. They agreed it. Stick to it. It's not his fault that they've got themselves in such shit.
No. My two nominations, as you probably expect, selfish one from an Evertonian, Michael Keane for his cock-up, giving Southampton a goal. Mate, pass it.
What a nightmare he had. Jesus Christ, that was awful.
Pass the ball, Michael. Please. pass it to somebody in the crowd if you must. Just don't pass it to the opposition player. God. What's he doing different there? He had loads of time to play that ball initially.
The thing is, as well, he got the ball went past and he just jogged back. There was no urgency to get back either. He was just like, I've lost it. You know what? Fuck it. Not my problem anymore.
That was his sprinting, by the way. That was his sprinting. He's got no pace. The other one is Aston Villa, purely because they let me down on my 8-fold ACCA. I was expecting them to win against Watford. I know it was away, but I just thought with the with the Grealish money that they've reinvested and players that they've brought in on top of the team that they had last year, and the fact that they were flying last year, and Watford are newly promoted and one of the teams that last week I suggested would be a relegation contender, I thought that's one to put some money on. All the 7 other teams came in for me, but they didn't. So, Villa, you've let me down. You're one of my nominations for Dickheads of the Week.
Before you throw yours in, Lee, that's a cheeky plug because I've done a betting one and you've done a betting one. Tune in on the YouTube channel on around Thursday, Friday night where Chris teaches all how not to bet.
22-fold accumulator.
20p on.
Yeah. Portuguese under 17s league. Yeah, no, I've got one that I can think of that you guys haven't already said, but it's Marcelo Bielsa for not playing Calvin Phillips. Just, if he's fit enough to be on the bench, he's fit enough to play the first 45, 60 minutes game of the season away at Old Trafford. It just doesn't bear thinking about what was going through his head. Like, even with a knock, he would have stopped some of those goals, I think, from United, because everything we did came through the midfield, and Phillips probably would have stopped that based on his form in the Euros and last season. It just doesn't make sense. And probably, as well, I would throw in Pep Guardiola for not starting Kevin De Bruyne for a very similar reason. So, yeah, they're the only two I can think of that haven't already been said. So, yeah.
Yeah, good. I'm glad they didn't start him.
Yeah, so am I. But from a neutral perspective, Dickhead of the Week.
Oh, yeah.
So, Dale, what are you saying, mate?
Oh, mate, first one of the season. I'm going with yours, Josh, because that would have been extra beer tokens for the trip to Spain for the weekend. Here, so.
Exactly. It's atrocious, isn't it? That could have gone into the first 2 rounds at the airport. Cheers, mate. I'm not going to win Fantasy Football League. I'm certainly not going to win the Predictions League. But if I've got the first Dickhead of the Week, I'll take that. That's a victory for me.
Oh, God, yeah. Quick fantasy football update. to the surprise of absolutely no one, Dale, you are joint top already. It's been one game week and you're already joint top.
Hey, it's hard work being this good, lads, I tell you.
I was so annoyed. I thought I'd had an absolute stormer, and then I looked at the points and thought, for fuck's sake.
You have had a
Even
good
when I
week.
thought I'd done really well.
You did do
I've
really
still
well.
got beat.
Yeah.
If you'd
Oh, well.
have put your captain on someone else, mate.
I know, I
Yeah.
forgot. That's
Yeah.
what done me in, yeah. I forgot to assign it, and it did to Richarlison automatically. To be fair, I probably would have chosen Salah, so I probably would have
I
got
did.
only a similar amount of points. I'm not going to sit here and say I would have chose Bruno when I wouldn't have done so. Yeah, never mind.
But yeah. Dermot Merrigan at the top with Dale as well, both on 102 points. Yeah. League's hotting up already. Nice to see one of our own Chris right near the bottom of the league.
Well, that's what you get.
As
Yeah.
no surprise to anyone.
And Rafa Greyflow only a couple of points ahead of him.
Well, it's, at least the name's a decent one, you know. He
There's
was
some
looking
belting,
to get your vote.
names in there, to be fair. There's some belting names in there.
So, do you know, for mine, I was torn between the one I've got now, which is getting the Varane, and I was also going to have the same play on words, but I was going to have it getting the Wan Bissaka. So I was torn on which one to go for. So, but yeah,
I like them both.
there's the thought process.
Right,
Flashback
Josh
to
is notified.
Germany.
Josh notified he's got to go, and I think that's probably a good time for us to wrap up. So
Yeah.
we've got no outro video, so Lee, you're gonna have to sing us off, mate, because we sang us in. So from myself, Josh, Dale, and Lee, sing us out, mate. It's time for us to go home. Chat soon. See you later.
Oh, is that the internet going again? Oh, no.
Oh no. Oh. Down, 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 down.